Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Index Card Insights. This is Cam Jennings, aka Cam Fats, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. And welcome to episode 23 of Index Card Insights. Today, I'm going to be answering 3 questions about PLR. So, if you don't know what PLR is, I'm talking about private label rights. All right. So basically what I'm talking about is content with a private label rights license. So one of the biggest questions I get asked about PLR is what rights do you have when it comes to PLR? Well, I'll tell you what, when it comes to PLR, basically private label rights allows someone to alter existing content such as articles or videos and market it as their own. Now, that's kind of like a textbook definition. The true definition of PLR is you need to look at the license, all right? Because it's specific to whatever PLR you just bought. Every piece of PLR that you buy usually comes with a different license. Depends on who you're buying it from. If you're buying all your PLR from one PLR seller, usually they'll have the same kind of license for all of it. But if you switch to a different PLR seller, their license might be different, right? So you really got to pay attention to your license. That's the bottom line. Generally, private label rights licenses give you the ability to edit content, audio, video, or written content. Usually it gives you the ability to edit it. It gives you the ability to rebrand it and sell it as your own. That's basically what it gives you the ability to do. Keep in mind, you don't have a copyright on this content, right? You have a license to this content. It's not the same as owning a copyright. The copyright is still owned by the original copyright holder. The license gives you a lot of access to the content, but it doesn't give you a copyright on the content. So just keep that in mind when it comes to PLR. The rights that you do have with PLR content are extensive. But yeah, you just wanna like pay attention to the actual license, and it depends on who's selling it to you, because every PLR seller is gonna have a different license, depending on how they want to handle their PLR. So keep that in mind, and we got like master resale rights licenses. We got giveaway licenses. We got resale rights licenses. So it can be a little confusing, right? But I think the important thing to remember with all this stuff is it's very, very vendor specific, right? Because this vendor might offer a resale license that has a lot of an extensive license. He might give you a lot of rights with that resale license. It really just depends on the vendor. You need to look at the specifics of your license. It's going to depend on who you're buying the PLR from. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's question 1. Question 2, what's the difference between a PLR license and a white label product, or a white label license on a product? I could give you textbook definitions, right? But what I think is important to remember is white label products and PLR products, the difference is really nuanced. I think if you get right down to it, the bottom line is this. Most of the time, people use a PLR license for articles, for written content, for audio content, for video content. Now, most of the time, people use white label license for physical products or for software type products. That's the main difference, really. Both of these licenses can give you extensive rights on the products. PLR license can give the ability to edit and rebrand, an article package. Well, white label rights license can give you the ability to edit the code of a piece of software. It can give you the ability to rebrand, and oftentimes it does give you the ability to rebrand software. So honestly, the difference between white label and PLR is really semantical, to be honest. It's minute. The difference, really, to me, it's a case of terminology. Generally, when you hear people talking about software, they're talking about they use white label. They don't use PLR. as a term. They use white label. Oh, this is white label software. You don't hear them saying this is PLR software, right? But as far as like what those licenses can do for you, the PLR license versus the white label license, they do very similar things, to be honest. And again, you need to look at the license because it depends on who you're buying the product from. You know, every single white label vendor is going to have a different like stipulation, a different set of stipulations on what you can do with the products that you're buying with white label rights to. Every PLR seller is going to have a different set of stipulations. I've seen some PLR sellers that say, "Hey man, I only have two rules. Don't use my name on it, and don't try to sell anything other than personal use rights on it. That's it." Then I see other PLR sellers who have like a long list of do's and don'ts for the PLR. So it really just depends. But that's the main difference between PLR license and white label license. It's about what it's talking about. It's not really about a difference in what they mean per se. It's really about what you're talking about. If you're talking about like physical goods or you're talking about software, generally they'll use the term white label. If you're talking about articles or videos or written content, they'll use the term PLR. So just keep it in mind. They're almost interchangeable if you ask me. So what else? I got one more question that I get asked a lot when it comes to PLR. How do I sell PLR products? I'll give this to you like in a really kind of like, I'm going to cut it down real bare bones. I cut it down to a 5-part process for you, okay? And I think part one, the first step, right now in 2023, is probably the biggest part of it. The biggest part of it. So step one, source quality PLR products, right? I'll come back to that. Step two, processing and branding. That means take the PLR products, look it over, make sure that it's meeting your standards, rebrand it, right? When you're going through when I say processing and branding, I mean, go through the PLR. If it's written PLR, make sure you add some kind of like rapport building in there. Make sure you add some kind of storytelling in there. Make sure you add some branding in there. Make sure it's the way it needs to be. Make sure it's factually correct. Make sure it's actually helpful to people. So 1, source quality PLR products. 2, processing and branding. 3, automated sales system. How are you selling this stuff? You need sales pages in place. You need funnels in place. 4, targeted traffic, right? You should prioritize list building, all right? Prioritize list building, send targeted traffic to your automated sales system, all right? And then 5, continuity, all right? Have a focus on continuity. So those are the 5 steps when it comes to selling PLR products. I think right now in 2023, the hardest part of that process is number 1, sourcing quality PLR products. And the reason that's hard is because so many people are using AI now to create PLR because AI can produce content cheap and fast and efficient. But there's some problems with AI PLR content. Number 1, AI it's notorious for AI hallucinations, which means it's just going to be factually incorrect sometimes. Not even sometimes. A lot of times. You really have to watch it. If you're buying PLR that was written by AI, you have to fact check everything meticulously because it could be wrong at any given moment. Another problem with AI created PLR is it's very derivative in nature, which means there's not really a lot of new ideas floating around in that PLR. It's written... It's writing about stuff that a lot of people already know about, just very basic stuff. I think those are the 2 big problems. A lot of derivative stuff and AI hallucinations. Those are the 2 big ones. And then you could add on there, it doesn't have a lot of like social intelligence, so it's lacking in style and grace, right? Now you can emulate style and grace with AI, of course, but it just doesn't have the same feel to it, There's like an uncanny valley effect that is happening there. So that's what I would say. So I think if you're going to sell PLR, make sure you got a quality supply, basically. like I'm at epicconversions.com. I sell PLR newsletters. So if you want to buy like high quality email newsletters, usually between 14 and 17 emails a newsletter, head over to epicconversions.com. Check out what I have to offer. I handwrite, not handwrite, but I write all my PLR personally. I put out a new newsletter every single month. And it's high quality, it's awesome, and I focus on internet marketing niche. So, anyways, that's what I would say. Anyways, those are 3 questions. Answering, PLR questions here. What do I have to do with a PLR? What rights do I have with a PLR license? What's the difference between PLR license and white label license, and how to sell PLR products? Hope that was helpful to you. I hope that answered some of your questions today. And if so, hey, thanks for stopping by. Be sure to get over to epicconversions.com. Get your free copy of 12 Secrets. That's 12 mind-blowing reveals on AI and online business. This one comes with a giveaway license, right? Comes with a giveaway license. So be sure to get over there and get your free copy of it. You're going to love it. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace now.